Have you ever noticed how one tiny decision, one heartbeat of choice, can rewrite your entire life? It's never the big moments that define us. It's the small, silent ones no one sees. A kind act, a lie unspoken, a temptation resisted. Each choice plants a seed, and one day, that seed becomes your future. Today's story is about a man who faced such a choice, one that tested not his luck but his soul. And what he chose that morning changed everything. Many years ago, in a quiet seaside town wrapped in mist and salt, there lived a young fisherman named Elias. Before dawn painted the sky, Elias was already at the shore, his bare feet cold against the sand, his small wooden boat rocking like a cradle in the tide. He wasn't rich. His house was made of old wood and good memories. He worked only to feed his mother and younger sister, and his heart was as honest as the sea was deep. But sometimes, even the kindest hearts grow tired. Each morning as he pulled empty nets, Elias whispered to the waves, "Why does life test me so much when I've never wronged anyone?" The sea, as always, stayed silent. That day, the ocean felt different. The wind was still, the sky heavy with silence. When Elias threw his net far into the blue, the rope jerked, hard. He pulled with all his strength, heart pounding, until the surface broke. And there it was. A golden chest, heavy with age, wrapped in seaweed and secrets. Elias stared. The sun caught on the gold, scattering shards of light across his face. He looked around, not a soul in sight, only the whisper of the waves and his own quickening breath. He pried it open. Inside, gold coins, shining like captured sunlight. His eyes widened. For the first time, the voice of temptation spoke louder than the sound of the sea. Maybe the ocean has finally rewarded me. Then another voice, softer, older, echoed within him. Or maybe this is a test. When Elias reached the shore, an old man stood by the dock, frail, weathered, and drenched in worry. His eyes searched the horizon as if looking for something he'd lost long ago. He turned to Elias and said, "Young man, I dropped something valuable at sea. A chest, small, golden, filled with what little remains of my family. Did you happen to see it?" Elias froze. His throat went dry. The chest's weight seemed to double in his mind. He almost said, "No, I didn't." But the words wouldn't leave his lips. They hung there, stuck between greed and guilt. The man sighed, his voice trembling. "If I lose it, I lose the last piece of them." He turned away slowly, walking toward the water. Elias just stood there, silent, still, and torn apart by two versions of himself. "If I keep this chest, I'll never have to struggle again. But if I lie today, I'll never sleep again." The sea murmured quietly, as if waiting for his decision. That night, Elias didn't eat, didn't rest. The chest sat on his table, glowing faintly in the candlelight. He ran his fingers over the coins. Every one of them felt heavy, not with gold, but with guilt. He imagined the life he could buy: a new boat, a better home, no more hunger. And then he imagined his mother asking, "Elias, where did this come from?" He looked out the window. The sea was dark, but in its silence it seemed to whisper, "Gold shines only in the light, not in the shadows." As the first light of dawn touched the horizon, Elias lifted the chest and walked back to the docks. The old man was still there, sitting quietly by the rocks. Elias placed the chest beside him and said softly, "Sir, I think this belongs to you." The old man's eyes filled with tears. He opened the chest, ran his hands over the coins, and looked at Elias. Then he smiled and said, "I was right about you." Elias blinked. "Right about me?" The old man's voice grew calm and deep. "I'm not just an old sailor. I own the largest fishing fleet in this region. I've been searching for someone honest to lead it. Everyone I tested failed, until you, Elias, stood still, his chest light, his eyes wide. For the first time, he realized, honesty doesn't delay blessings. It delivers them when your heart is ready. Years passed. Elias became the head of the fishing company, leading hundreds of fishermen across the coast. He treated them fairly, shared his wealth, and taught every new worker one lesson. It's not the size of your boat that defines you. It's the honesty you sail with. His name became a legend, not because he found gold, but because he chose truth over it. He found something the sea had been trying to teach him all along: peace, purpose, and trust. Life will always test us, not in loud moments, but in quiet ones. When no one's watching, when only your heart knows what's right. Remember this: every lie buys comfort for a day, but truth earns peace for a lifetime. So when temptation whispers, listen to your conscience louder, because every small choice you make today shapes the person you become tomorrow. Choose wisely, choose honestly, and let your truth become your greatest treasure.